All right, so here we are looking at a real SAT comparative evidence question, a real SAT practice test. And this is, in fact, one that students, a lot of smart students, often miss. And what we're going to do is we're going to go through it the way that students normally will go through it when they are not well trained. And then I'll show you a much simpler way. And what most students do, they're gonna just assume they need to read the whole passage, right? Why wouldn't you? And so let's do that. Earth's atmosphere is bombarded by cosmic dust originating from several sources. Several sources: short period comets, SPCs, particles from the asteroid belt, ASTs, Halley type comets, HTCs, and Oort cloud comets, OCCs. Some of the dust's material vaporizes in the atmosphere in a process called ablation, and the faster the particles move, the higher the rate of ablation. Astrophysicist Juan Diego Carrillo Sanchez led a team that calculated average ablation rates for elements in the dust, such as iron and potassium, and showed that material in slower moving SPC or AST dust has a lower ablation rate, doesn't say ablation there, than the same material in faster moving HTC or OCC dust. For example, whereas the average ablation rate for iron from AST dust is 28%, the average rate for blank. Oh my gosh, we better hurry. This is the SAT. Our whole future depends on this. Let's read. I don't know really what that meant, but anyway, let's read the question and see if we can find an answer. Which choice most effectively uses data from the table to complete the example? Iron from SPC, solution. You can quickly read the answer choices. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Maybe we should just start over and read that passage again much more slowly. Maybe we need to outline the passage. No, we don't need to do any such thing. What we want to do is go straight to the claim that we are supposed to be supporting. Now, this one is a little bit interesting. The claim is usually the last sentence, but not on this one. The last sentence is a supporting example or the beginning of the supporting example. So the claim is going to be above that supporting example. And that claim is going to be right after what they showed. What did they show, right? They showed that material in slower moving SPC or AST dust has a lower rate than the same material in faster moving HTC or OCC dust. And then we give a supporting example. Now that we've focused directly on the claim, this is before you even read the passage, because a lot of times you don't even need to read the passage because the passage just contains stuff that is related to the claim, but really a bunch of distracting details that you do not need nor have time for. And you're going to simplify the claim and predict the categories, the basic categories of information that you should expect to see in an answer choice that's supposed to support this claim. Well, what's going on? Let's take a closer look at the claim. Material in the slower moving dust, that's SPC or AST, has a lower rate than the same material in the faster moving dust, which is HTC or OCC. So in terms of basic categories, we know that in order to support that claim, the correct answer must contain information about the slow dust and the fast dust, because we are making a claim, a comparative claim about slow dust versus fast dust. And we see that this supporting example begins by talking about AST dust, which is one of the slow ones. So the correct answer has to mention one of the fast ones, which are HTC or OCC. Let's go to the answer choices. Oh, look, A doesn't mention one of the fast dusts. It's gone. B does. That's OCC. That's one of the fasts. HTC is one of the fasts. AST is not one of the fasts. It's the same one that's mentioned in the example. So we've already eliminated two answer choices. What next in terms of basic categories of information that we would expect to see in the right answer, the answer that's going to support the claim? Let's go back to the claim. Material in slower moving dust has a lower rate than what? Than the same material in the fast dust. And then the supporting example starts with what material? It starts with iron. So the correct answer has to mention not only the fast dust, but it also has to mention iron. Oh, look, there's one that mentions iron. This one doesn't. It mentions sodium, and we're done. Now, just to show you that this is not applicable simply to this one question that I have cherry picked, I am going to take you to not the next question, but 2 questions down the road. And we're going to look at this one more time. I'm not going to torture you by reading the entire passage again. We're just going to go down to the claim. We're going to skip that step. We're going to focus on the claim. Here it is. A researcher hypothesized, whatever comes after this is going to be the claim, that because of some reason, here's the real hypothesis, they, which would be Arctic ground squirrels, they likely exhibit longer bouts of torpor and shorter arousal episodes than Alaska marmots. Let's again predict the basic categories of information that need to be in the correct answer to have any shot whatsoever of supporting that type of claim. Well, doesn't this claim compare the marmots to the squirrels? Something about squirrels to something about marmots? So really basically the correct answer to support that claim has to talk about the squirrels and the marmots. Let's see how we do here. A, marmots, blah, 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 squirrels. Okay. B, marmots, squirrels. We're okay. C, marmots, squirrels. Okay, again. D, marmot. Oh, nothing about squirrels. That one is gone. Now so we only eliminated one that time. Let's go back to the claim and look for some other types of basic categories of information. We know they're comparing marmots to squirrels. What about marmots? What about squirrels? Well, it says the squirrels, are going to have longer bouts of torpor. Don't know what that is because I haven't read the passage and I haven't looked at the table, but longer bouts of torpor and shorter arousal episodes. Okay. So not only must the correct answer to support that claim talk about squirrels and marmots, but it also has to talk about torpor and arousal episodes. Let's go back to the answer choices. A, Alaska marmots, arousal, that's good. Arousal, arousal only, nothing about torpor. Okay, nothing about torpor bouts, that's out. B, Alaska marmots, both maintain torpor, that's torpor only, right? Only torpor, that's out. Oh, we're done. C better be correct. Let's see, the Alaska marmots had shorter torpor bouts and longer arousal episodes than the squirrels did. Now, all that is doing is restating the claim backward in an inverse form. The claim is that the squirrels have longer bouts of torpor, and then the correct answer says the marmots had shorter torpor bouts. And then the claim says the squirrels had shorter arousal episode, and the correct answer says the marmots had longer arousal episodes. So it literally just restates the claim backward. The other answer choices have no possibility of supporting the claim because they are missing the basic categories of information they would need to do so.